Welcome back to the show, and now let us get right into it. The rise of technology has birthed a number of art disciplines, and chief among them, digital art, a type of art that has been embraced by tech-savvy artists seeking to transfer some of their creativity onto the digital space. Take a look at this. Digital art has cemented its place as one of the leading contemporary forms of art that has been embraced by modern-day artists.
I started traditional art a while back, a really while back, like when I was young. For digital, I started off with vector graphics. That was 2022. By the help of my mentor, Kalebo Keke. And then once I got a handle on vector graphics to some degree, I have done a couple of works with it. I moved over to Clip Studio, which is a different form of, it's a different medium of approaching digital art, which is raster graphics. I mostly do 2D illustrations, and I am hoping to do equally something to 2D animation. Yeah, I love 2D. I love the idea of drawing more so than 3D, like the whole sense of crafting. What you'd call an autodidacta, that's someone who's self-taught. So for me, digital art is, there are parts where you need some help, where you use like YouTube, you go online, you search websites, various websites, but then after some time you sort of start to get that intuitive feel about it. Yeah. When I started off with Adobe Illustrator, it was overwhelming. Not because it's hard, it's because it's easy. It's actually, with art, it's actually contradictory. Like it's a paradox, because with art, freedom is overwhelming. Limitations are riveting. They give you that space to create.
His background in fine art has worked as a massive advantage for him, as he frequently applies some knowledge and expertise from it into the digital art. Nonetheless, Victor is constantly doing research for further knowledge.
The influence is mainly practice and sort of confidence. Art is very, very paradoxical, because you would expect that digital art gives this much freedom again, but it's overwhelming. That's why I stopped doing it, because I was like, I didn't feel like I was heading anywhere. And for the most part, because I'm self-taught, I don't like have a clear roadmap. It's more so of what I find intuitively lacking, and that's what challenges me to the acquisition of knowledge, to scaffold. The thing most artists tend to not to know, and it's because most artists are self-taught, it's not like a big deal, it's that they should learn the art fundamentals. You should always go back to those fundamentals. So I went back to traditional to sort of, one, get confidence to making art again, because with digital came a lot of freedoms and a lot of things to theorize within the creative process, and it was jarring. So like I had to go back to traditional to remember like why I love drawing.
The artist has had to be extremely adaptive, as the software, crucial in making his art, is continually getting updates and newer versions that he has to quickly learn and master to manipulate.
I'm very intuitive with my process. Because of that, I don't distinctly have a particular way of doing something. If you check some of my time-lapse videos, especially the old ones, because I started digital art at 2022 with Vector. I joined at I think 2023 August there. That's when I joined Clip Studio. And if you check my time-lapse video, because I like taking time-lapse video, it's like a kind of animation, especially if you can time the features. There's some of my time-lapse videos that show like changing the character, which seems sort of like animation. You will notice that I don't usually finish the drawing I started with. So it looks more like I study, and then it's like I warm up and then I start drawing. Sometimes I tend to draw off head from a young age. I don't copy. I rarely copy. Actually, I have a problem with like observation skills because most of my drawings come from my head. So it's hard. It's also hard to follow rules and be intentional when everything comes from here. Although I'm learning that even that can also be, like, you can also set scaffolds for it. So the conventional method is you first do the sketch and then you clean up the sketch with good line art, and then you add color, and then you add shadows, and then you add light.
The emergence of artificial intelligence has elicited mixed reactions across various sectors over the recent past, with many torn between its benefits and threats.
The challenge with digital art so far is AI. Although I have my own reserved opinion on AI, I think of AI more so it's a controversial opinion. I think AI is going to oversaturate the market with so much of its generic product that people will. The value comes from scarcity, from something being rare. So human intuition, approaching art with human intuition is rare compared to AI. AI presents this idea everyone can draw. But art is hard. Art is not easy. Art is not easy. It is hard. And if you want to know art is hard, try drawing the human head. The human, we tend not to draw what we see. We draw what we think we see. And it's hard to clear out that habitual observation which you tend to make without in the most intuitive sense, without much thought. So art is hard, and offering time to dedicate to the practice, to that craft, is not an easy task. So that will, from my point of view, that will always be valuable. That sense of hard work will be valuable. In sense, making AI obsolete in due time.
What keeps Victor going and always motivated to do so is the why he does art and why he got into art in the first place.
It's a constantly evolving concept. So at first, I do art because it's visually stimulating. I have ADHD, so I have a high visual memory, and I'm very interested in visual. I get high visual stimulations from looking at some things. So art is one of them. I also realized in due time so far that I also consume art as a form of therapy. It's not easy being neurodivergent, so art helps me with that. I'm yet to understand this, but under the analysis of other artists, they are sort of presenting this idea that I do art to express myself, which I'm completely alien to personally. They will look at my drawings and be like, you seem like you had so many thoughts. And they're keying into my ADHD, and I'm like, how are they doing that? So I'm yet to understand. Though reading through the art movements, I think I'm kind of like an expressionism artist. Learn the art movements for upcoming artists. It helps you see where you are or where you are heading in terms of how you create. You can find me on Unfinished Imperfectors on IG. I mostly post on IG. I'm mostly active on IG. You want to find me, I'm mostly on Instagram. My WhatsApp contact is also on Instagram.
It's always remarkable to witness art being incorporated in technology.